Hello everyone and welcome back to my Fire Emblem Warriors videos Let's Play. The last time we just talked to everyone and I know I did not end the part right here. I think I was actually right next to Raya. If I can go next to her, I actually can. Okay, so
Greetings.
pretend I just started the part right over here. So anyway, last time we just talked to everyone and I did the you know, the last mission off screen on S rank. And it's kind of lame because you get a bow. I have to show it to you. So you get a bow with the crest of Lamine. So do you know who is the only character who has like on their own the crest of Lamine? It's freaking Mercedes, of all people. It's kind of odd. And now I kind of wish I made her a archer instead, but I did not know that. I did not know that. Since I made Shez like an archer just because I didn't have one, but I guess I could have made Mercedes into one. So that's kind of weird because it says it boosts all healing effects if the wielder bears the matching crest, which would be great for her, but I don't know. This just restores a large amount of HP at regular intervals, so I think this still calculates using the normal strength stat. So, and not the magic stat. So this is actually worse for her. Are you at? Yeah, I mean, look at that. Magic is literally double. And like the riddle is just using the magic stat. So that's why I gave that to her. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird. Anyway, in case you're thinking we're actually going to do something today, no. I'm actually not really done preparing yet. I do not have money to level up my unit, and I don't know, did I show that in the last part? But the level is actually 90. And like, I only have one unit with that level, and that is Shez. Oh, Maya, I guess. Whatever. So, yeah, we're not doing that right now. I need to, like, grind up a bit. At least the units that have the spoil, so they can also farm money, so that I can level up my other units. And I'm also probably gonna level up Edelgard, because, if she's gonna be available on the next mission again, like, as in the other route split, then, well, well, indeed, I'm gonna level her up. Because she's only level 61, I think. But yeah, so as I said, we're not gonna continue today. We're just gonna watch supports because like the last time, if I remember correctly, which I might not, after the next mission we're gonna start get into the weird warp zone thingy, and after that it's gonna be like the final mission, I think. So I don't want to have all the supports in just one go after the warp thingy, so like the Vaharas thingy, whatever. So we're gonna start off right now. Besides, I don't think I even have unlocked all the supports yet. Like actually all the supports I need, or I might have. Actually, I don't know. Do you need still some support? I don't know, maybe we're only doing half, maybe not. Depends. I only want to do two part, like, I'm gonna warn you guys so you can click off the next part and totally kill my 13 views or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna do two parts of these, like this one and the next one, and after that we're gonna do the paralog. Depending on how many supports I still have left, I'm gonna do another support part. If there's that many left, I don't know. And after that we're gonna do the mission and then the harass stuff, which I mean won't be much new, only probably the cutscenes before and after, and like the one cutscene with like Claude will be different probably. And afterwards, before the finale, we're gonna do all the supports. If we don't have a if we don't have a another paralog yet, but yeah. So that's why I'm kind of like I don't want them to be like 4 or 5 support pods in a row, so let's stop wasting any more time with my usual like talking and just get to it, right? Right? But these are locked still. You've missed the opportunity to deepen the spawn. That's so weird. Wait. You cannot deepen bonds during this chapter. So should I? Does that mean I should have watched his support whenever, like in a previous mission? That's lame. That is just lame. Okay. I'm not gonna do Maya just yet. Just gotta do the important ones first.
Is it much further, Mercedes? We'll likely need to rest soon.
We're just about there. See? It's right over that hill.
I had no idea there was a village here.
Actually, I used to live in this village once upon a time. You can see the church where I stayed in the distance.
It is a place of stunning beauty and quiet. It almost feels like coming home somehow.
Oh, Mercedes! It's been so long. Come to visit your mother, have you?
It has been a while, hasn't it? And no, I'm mostly here to show my friend around.
My, what a handsome young man. Are you with the Knights of Saros?
Kind of.
What? Oh, no. I'm the kingdom's... I'm a member of their army.
I don't know why this is just funny.
You don't say. Guess that means you work closely with our Mercedes here. Well, if you've got the time, go pop into the church. I'm sure the priest and little ones will be delighted to see you.
Absolutely. Also, I do want to say hello to Mother, since we've come all this way.
I always find it nerve-wracking to meet friends of friends.
Same, honestly.
Oh, she's harmless. She works over at the church. My mother and I owe her a lot. There are many people there who share similar circumstances to our own. Too many, I'm afraid. Still, the priest accepts anyone and everyone who comes to him for aid.
Such open-mindedness is rare in these times. I wonder if it's because of the church's teachings.
You know, this village would look very different had you not accepted the central church.
Well, I've heard the most unpleasant rumors about the southern church. And I don't know how to govern all these villages myself.
I realize you know far more than me when it comes to things like politics and war. But I still thought it was important for you to see what you're protecting with your own eyes.
Which is why you insisted I accompany you. To be honest, I have no idea how the war will change Fódlan. But I will do everything in my power to protect this place. And all others like it.
Thank you, Dimitri. Let's head on over to the church. There are some wonderful views on the way there. There are fields of flowers, beautiful brooks. Goodness, so many things I want to show you. Oh, and I need to say hello to my mother and the priest while we're at the church.
I suppose I should give them my regards as well. Considering I hold your life in my hands as your commanding officer.
My, you're so nervous. Perhaps you should let me handle the introductions. I'll just tell them you're someone very important to me.
Wait, Mercedes. That may lead to some untoward conclusions.
Sorry, it was just a joke, I promise. I didn't mean to fluster you. Still, I much prefer this Dimitri to the scowly one I always seem to see.
You are a master of catching me off balance, Mercedes.
Oh my god, I really like these supports where Dimitri is just awkward. Like that was great. Awkward Dimitri is like best Dimitri. I mean Wet Cat Dimitri is also quite fun, but like I think awkward Dimitri is the best. He should be more awkward.
Your Majesty, about tomorrow's drills. Apologies, I did not mean to interrupt.
It's fine, Ingrid. We had just finished.
That was the leader of the Dusker forces, yes? What were you talking about?
We were discussing various tactics and formations. We must be aligned if we're to fight together. The way Dusker soldiers operate is quite different from our knights. I must also be mindful of how I deploy them to avoid undue conflict.
Yes, I hear there have already been a number of small quarrels in the encampment.
It's not a problem easily solved. I'm sure each side finds it difficult to adjust to the other. And you, Ingrid. Do you still hate the people of Dusker?
I no longer have reason to hold on to that hate. Yes, a few of them were involved in the tragedy, but I cannot blame the rest for that. There were many other forces at work. I understand that now. Yet I used to focus all my negative feelings on the people of Dusker, and for that I am ashamed. In a way, I now find myself scared of interacting with them at all.
You needn't blame yourself. The fault lies with me for not speaking to you about it more 6 years ago. I hesitated because I didn't wish to confuse the matter, not knowing the full truth of it. But you were forced to grapple with many painful feelings as a result. Clearly, my priorities were not in order.
You had enough to deal with 6 years ago. So many knights were expelled from the castle, and almost none but Lord Rodrigue would set foot in the capital. Even my father prevented me from going to see you.
Yet, I still could have sought you out. And I had countless chances to discuss the matter at the academy.
I do not think I would have taken it well even if you had. I was convinced that Glenn died saving you from irredeemable villains. I forced myself to believe that. If I hadn't, I fear I may have gone mad.
I was in a similar position. But once I finally opened the lid on that box, I realized just how many were involved, including members of our own kingdom. In the end, I knew I had to reconcile with reality.
And I must also accept the reality that stands before me now. We are allied with the people of Dusker, which means I can no longer avoid them.
I have an idea. It may not help, but I'd like to take you somewhere. The father of that man I was speaking with earlier opened an inn last year, and it's not far. Would you care to join me there for a meal? Word has it he's quite skilled at making all manner of food. Of course, if this is all too much and too soon, I understand.
Not at all. I would love to accompany you, though it shames me to admit it. I likely lack the courage to go alone, but with you at my side, I think I can take that first step.
In that case, let us make haste. Oh, and this will be my treat, so keep your pocketbook shut tight.
Remember, kids, racism is bad. I mean, I just think it's a nice support, but racism is bad, and it's glad that that these guys realized that. How great! I feel mean sometimes.
Ah, Your Majesty. Tending to your weapon, I see. My apologies for interrupting you.
It's all right. I just finished. Is there something you need, Rodrigue?
Yes, in fact. I received this from Matthias when I was in Gautier territory the other day.
From the Margrave? But this sword is...
He said he borrowed it from Lambert years ago, and had long since forgotten about it. What sort of laggard keeps a loan so long he has to return it to the lender's son? 30 years!
Wow.
That would have been around the time you all attended the Officers' Academy together, correct? Would you mind telling me the story of this sword?
It started when our class was given a mission to eradicate a bandit encampment. Foolish as I was at the time, I dashed in ahead of the others, leaving me and my entire unit stranded behind enemy lines. Apparently, your father and Matthias started arguing about whether or not it was worth coming to save me. Broke out into a full-on fist fight before long.
That's a surprise. I wouldn't have expected that of my father, much less the Margrave.
Well, they were both pretty feisty in their day. Neither of them wanted to back down, I'm sure. On one hand, you had Matthias, insisting they wait for aid from the church. Supplies were running low, so charging in could have gotten everyone killed. On the other, Lambert was so determined to come to our rescue, he'd have gone all by himself if he had to. No idea whose plan won in the end, sadly. All I know is they fought their way through the enemy lines together. And lucky for me, They found us before the bandits did.
So, my father tended to charge in recklessly as well. Or perhaps he was just naive in his youth.
Story goes, Matthias's lance broke while they were fighting their way toward us. So Lambert lent him this sword. As he was giving it to me, he couldn't help but laugh about how it slipped his mind for all these years.
Considering what I know of the Margrave, I have my doubts that he actually forgot it at all.
You're probably right. This is just my opinion, but I don't think he ever really managed to accept Lambert's death until you ascended the throne.
Perhaps. In any case, please tell him I've received it. And thank you for relaying that story to me. It seems even in his youth, my father was willing to do whatever it took to see those close to him safe. Yet here I've gone and started a war, knowing full well it will hurt those I care about most. He'd likely call me a fool if he were here today.
I'm not so sure about that. Yes, he did treasure his friends, but I don't think he would have been too keen on abandoning the church either, considering all they've done to protect the people of Fargus.
Rodrigue, you knew my father well. Could I ask you to do something for me? If I ever attempt anything that would bring shame to his name, please.
Say no more. I'll stop you, even if I have to lay down my life to do it. I already promised him the same thing, actually.
You have my deepest thanks.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Do you have a moment, Rodrigue? There's something I'd like to ask you.
Anything for you, Your Majesty. What is it?
I want to hear your side of the story.
Of which story exactly?
How did you feel when you learned of my father's death? I've struggled to ask this before, but I want to know.
So that's what you mean. Honestly, I had a difficult time believing it at first. But as moons passed, I gradually grew to accept the reality of it. And of course, I recalled the promise I'd made him, and vowed to myself that I would carry it out.
I wonder then, had I died alongside my father in Glen and Dusker, what would you have done? You know, a fleeting thought flashes across my mind every time I see you reflect upon my father. It feels as though you aspired not just to stand beside him in life, but to meet death with him as well.
Don't overthink it, Your Majesty. I'm a pretty stubborn guy, you know. No, I didn't wish for my own death when Lambert passed. But sometimes I think that if I have to die to honor my promise to him, I would be satisfied with that.
I won't allow you to throw your life away, Rodrigue. I'll not have you stolen from me by that promise. Losing you would be almost like losing my father for a second time. If you were to die because of me, it would destroy me.
You may say that, but a subject lives by the example their king sets for them. And I know well enough that you don't value your life either.
Well,
So if you'd like me to place more importance on my life, I urge you to do the same, Your Majesty.
well, that's an Uno reverse card.
You're right. I have no excuse.
No, I should apologize. That came out rather more harsh than I intended. You sounded so much like Lambert just now, I simply couldn't hold myself back. In truth, that's something I've wished I could have said to him for a long time now. Yet, you were the one who had to bear the brunt of it. I suppose I can hardly poke fun at Matthias for holding on to that sword all those years, can I?
I sounded like my father?
Indeed you did. Remember the story of the sword? About how I got stuck behind enemy lines like a fool? Well, the first thing Lambert said after he broke through their forces was, "Don't throw your life away like that." Not that it was too convincing coming from a guy covered in cuts and scrapes.
I can't imagine. It sounds as though you two were very close. I envy him for having such strong bonds with his friends.
Don't let my son catch you saying that. Pretty sure he'd take offense. Anyway, that's enough reminiscing for one day. How about you try squeezing some memories out of Matthias next time?
A fine idea. Perhaps I'll invite Sylvain and the others to join in as well.
Just the big old memory circle and Raya just spawning in. How it's supposed to be. Oh yeah, right, this one was funny. I want to see the conclusion to that.
You seem to be staring at me, Yuri. What's wrong?
Just thinking how odd it is that you've grown so accustomed to a town like this.
Well, I like this place, and its people. There may be a few vagabonds in the darker alleys. That just shows how accepting everyone is. They all greet me with smiles, despite my being a complete stranger to them.
Oh, they'd change their tune pretty quickly if they knew you were the king. Anyway, have you enjoyed your little tour of this garbage heap? Did you get a good look at the town through my eyes or whatever it is you wanted?
Yes. And it's also got me thinking about how best to help those of more meager standing. Originally, I thought that establishing medical facilities or investing in the church were the best pathways to this cause. But after seeing the people here, I realized they are not indigents standing around with open hands awaiting salvation.
I'd love to unpack your definition of indigent, but yes, they certainly don't take things lying down.
Maybe it's idealistic, but I think regents should rule in a way that not just nobles, but everyone can see as reasonable. But to accomplish that, a ruler must take the opportunity to truly listen to the people. Of course, I can't go around visiting every burg and hamlet personally. I realize this, but I still feel this is the key to true reform.
Well, good on you if you actually manage to accomplish that. But it isn't going to be easy. First, you have to give the poor a minimum level of education. Of course, they're already fully capable of telling you when they're hungry or if taxes are too high. But they'll need education to understand the policies and laws established by their lords and hold any kind of thoughtful opinion on them.
Education, you say? Yes, that makes a great deal of sense.
Problem is, people aren't in the mood to learn anything when they don't know where their next meal is coming from or where they'll sleep that night.
Right. Improving quality of life is first and foremost. Education can be built upon that. Sadly, none of this will be cheap. And the current war is doing a fine job of draining our coffers, which means I need to end it as soon as possible.
So the main problem comes down to money, huh? In that case, why not make use of us? If you need funds, I can introduce you to a wealthy merchant or three. And if you need to get some dirty work done, I can lend you a few of my men. All we need in exchange is for you to provide us a little bit of support.
I'll not permit you to work evil in my name. And besides which, tales of how you and your band have eaten lords out of house and home are legend.
But you're a different matter entirely, Your Majesty. If we join forces, my dream is sure to be realized. I swear to never allow you to fall victim to any vile practices. You have my honest word on that.
And what is this dream of yours?
I'll tell you about it in due time. But for now, Your Majesty, do you accept my proposal?
I will consider it. After spending time together, I've come to want to trust you.
I promise it'll be the best decision you ever make. But until then, I'll patiently await your reply.
I can't believe Yuri is just so sly. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna work for you. You won't regret it. Also, I like that the whole education thing was the what Purdy said in his support, and I don't know. I like that. Yeah, in his support with Edelgard, that was nice. We still got some. Maybe we still got some time for some Felix to do action.
Now then, I'd like to hear opinions on the proposed tactics. Personally, I believe it best to gather our forces and attack the stronghold directly, but...
Of course the boar wants to rush in headlong. Using a small force to take out the enemy's base of operations is a far better idea. Do you have something to say? Or are you just going to stand there glaring at me?
I have nothing to add, no.
So you're saying you have no thoughts on it whatsoever? You don't even agree or disagree? Just purely, blissfully neutral?
Enough, Felix. Leave Dedu be and tell me more about this idea of yours.
We don't need to kick down the front door here. Sneaking in with a small force and burning their food stores will be more than enough.
Interesting. We'd miss a chance to loot their supplies. But it would free up our main force for other matters. Still, it won't be easy to slip past their patrols. I'd best take my personal troops and...
Allow me to take on the role. I trust that'll be satisfactory.
Right then. Now that we've solidified our strategy, let's break for a bit.
Okay, what is your problem? You've been giving me that look ever since we came in here. You clearly have something on your mind, so spit it out.
It's good to have you with us.
Huh?
Few can debate His Majesty without hesitation or ill intent. Our war council proceeded smoothly as a result.
You make me sound like some kind of troublemaker. I don't disagree just for the thrill of it, you know.
You don't say.
Dimitri's always had a reckless streak. Who knows what kind of mess he'd drag us into if someone wasn't around to stop him. The guy would gladly throw his life away for someone else, given half the chance.
You have a point.
His death would mean the destruction of both Fargus and the Church. So when I try to protect him, what I'm really doing is protecting the kingdom.
Spoken like the shield of Fargus.
What's with a smile? I told you, if you've got something to say, just say it.
I know you spoke up for my sake as well. I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, well, just doing what's expected. I mean, we're, you know, brothers in arms and all that.
Apologies for the wait. I trust we're ready to reconvene. You two seem to be having a lively discussion. May I ask what it was about?
Of course, Your Majesty. Felix was just saying...
I was saying how much of a fool you are. And now come. We have more important things to discuss.
I like how the dude is just like, yeah, I'm gonna embarrass Felix in front of Dimitri. I'm just gonna spill his secret. Oh my god. Also, this was more of a three-way, but that was that was nice. I mean, technically we have time for one more. Annette! Annette! I want to hear your support.
Dedu, what are you doing here?
Oh, Annette. I was... training.
Wow, do you ever take a break? 'Cause you should. It's almost dinner time.
I don't plan to stop yet. I'm still not strong enough.
Not strong? You mean with your axe? Come on, you're plenty good at swinging that guy around.
No. I must make up for my inability to wield a hero's relic. You, Felix, and the others are all able to make use of their immense power. I know I can never rise to that level, but if I could somehow close the gap... To be honest, I'm envious. Envious of your ability to wield such a powerful instrument.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard you open up like that before.
I apologize. Please forget I said anything.
No, I'm happy you told me. I feel closer to you now. Anyway, I think you're really strong already. I don't know what we'd do without you.
Truly?
Yeah, you're invaluable with or without a relic. Crests and relics are only useful on the battlefield anyway. But you can cook and sew and do all kinds of helpful stuff. Meanwhile, I'm pretty much just 9 thumbs and a toe. Plus, you swing around that heavy axe like it's nothing. So I mean it, Dedu. You're amazing.
We each have something the other lacks.
Exactly. Besides, maybe it's a good thing that you can't use a relic. If you could, you'd be too good and the rest of us would just be getting in your way all the time. Training is fine and dandy, but don't be so hard on yourself, okay?
You're strong in your own way, Annette. Your optimism is infectious. It aids not only me, but everyone else as well.
Aw, you're making me blush. Still, I guess being positive sort of is one of my special talents, huh? And if it managed to help you even a little, that's enough for me. Anyway, I made dinner today, so let's head back and start feasting. It'll be yummy, promise. I mean, I did manage to make the bottom of the pot fall out, so things got a little hairy there for a second, but it smells great.
The bottom... fell out?
Yeah, but it turned out amazing, I swear. I can't wait for you to try some.
How did you manage to... Never mind. let's eat before it grows cold.
Wow. And that's the cooking disaster. But this one was sweet. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Yeah, I've got 2 left. I was like, well, maybe if we only got 1 left, then maybe I just make the part a little bit longer, but nope. We do not have time for that. Not now. Not ever. I mean, we do have ever time for that, but not right now. And with these words, I'm gonna leave you guys. Hope you enjoyed the support, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye!